also, maybe just me, when the whole thing happened in the primary, like Gavin Newsom, because I thought he was gonna try to throw his hat in there when Biden fell off the map. I thought he was gonna try to slide up in there, but he
Bro,
probably was like, hell no.
no, actually, Frosty, that was part of the problem. I'm surprised you didn't hear about that. A lot of people behind the scenes had an issue with this because Harris was just put up there and no true nomination forum or nomination process took place.
No,
She was handed the nomination,
yeah,
and that is by the rule of our government, since they always talk about the amendment. I mean, the Constitution, democracy dies in the darkness.
yeah.
The Democrat Party violated the system. You are supposed to have a fair and unbiased selection process. Y'all skip that.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Y'all automatically
I think
anointed her.
was it? I think it was later on after the election where was it Nancy Pelosi? Maybe it was Nancy Pelosi. It was one of them top Democrats where they said, "Oh, well, we wanted to do it a primary, but when Biden said he nominated Kamala, oh man, we didn't know what to do." I was like, that don't make sense.
Tell the senile old man to shut up.
Shut the fuck up. Shut all the way the fuck up until you reach the top of Shut Fuck Mountain where there are no more fuck ups to shut.
Yeah, how about y'all say, you know what, screw him.
Yeah,
We're gonna do
how
this the
about
right
telling
way.
him you can't do that because you're not allowed?
But I think, like we talked about before, is it was the money. It was those whatever how many millions upon millions of dollars that was donated to the Biden campaign that they didn't want to lose, so they held on to it. So I think that's I forgot how many hundreds. So I think it was a couple hundred million that he already got donated to his campaign before he got dropped out.
Yeah, I believe so. But and and while we are talking about the unfair process and the
Oh, did
and
you the last? I'm gonna was quick because I thought it was just like right touching $1 billion on her campaign that was spent.
yeah,
Apparently, it was
I
like
can pull that up a second.
1.3. It was like near 1.3 billion.
Yeah,
I'm like, my God, there was just splashing cash. Man, they was just handing out the bread. They were just like, you know what? What I always feel like stuff like that. The question is, I guess, as they're delving through the campaign finance records, like who got paid? Of course, the administrators and the people who working for the campaign got buku bread. But what else were they spending the money on? I mean, I know advertising. I know they were dropping ads like it wasn't tomorrow. Uh, like especially in certain states, they were getting bombarded. I know Pennsylvania was getting bombarded with ads everywhere. Thankfully, I have YouTube Premium, so I never even saw any of these political ads. Thank God. Oh, do you know that? Um, Trump he's a racist and a fascist.
oh, of course, of course.
And it's like, come
There you
on.
go.
Let's see here. Campaign raised 9 point.
I understand this article came out updated on November 4th.
Okay, so
The Biden House campaign committee raised $997.2 million. Trump on 338. I mean on 388.
wow.
While the campaign won't release their full finances until election day, candidates still required to report donations over $1,000 above. Blah blah blah.
Uh-huh.
The Harris campaign raised $97.2 million in the first half of October alone, while the Trump campaign raised only $16.2. The Harris, which raises money for both Harris's campaign and the Democratic groups, raised $1.2 billion this election cycle. Woo!
That's crazy.
Trump's National Committee, which raises money for Trump's campaign and the Republican National Committee, took in only $375.3 million.
That's a lot of money. I wish I could have had a channel and could have got some of that Kamala Harris ad money. oh, you know, one of my least favorite people is Roland Martin.
Is who?
Roland Martin, you know who that is?
I think the name sounds kind of familiar.
He's he's a black dude. I think he used to be on CNN, but he has his own thing now, and he's a we call him a black. His own black media company now, and he's just so. I don't like him because he just comes across as I'm just so superior. If you've seen his face, you probably know who he is, maybe. But I've seen this guy for years, and he's just like so arrogant. And because I see how he gives softball interviews to Democrats, and he then if it's anybody Republican or conservative or a center, he's all hardcore. He's like, putting their feet to the fire. It's like, bro, if you gonna if I would respect you more if you did it across the board. Like hold everybody accountable. I mean, some of those questions I can get down with, but when you only do it to people that's against your party, to me that's because there's a lot of like for example, there's a lot of problems with the Republicans. I mean,
Yeah,
that needs to
granted
be,
that, yeah.
and I think a lot of people who voted Republican this time around can attest that, man, some of these jokers gotta go. Some of these Republican candidates gotta get up out of here. They suck. Like, was it John Cornyn up here in Texas? As in the he's a senator, right? Yeah, I think he's a senator. I don't like him. I don't like that dude because he's a rhino. Nah, screw him. Plus too, when especially when before the election, all of a sudden, they started actually implementing controls and trying to slow down people coming in here. I say that still goes to show you anybody who's paying attention, if they can use executive action to slow the tide of illegal immigration.
Mm-hmm.
I said, how come you didn't do it before? But that was actually on one of the town halls with Anderson Cooper with Kamala Harris. He pointed that out to her on stage, like, "Hey, how come y'all didn't do this before?" Oh, well, we were trying to do everything through Congress to do this bill, uh, and that Trump's his fault. He didn't want us to do this bill because he wanted to run on a problem instead of running on a solution. It's like, but if y'all couldn't get it done through Congress, how come y'all didn't slow the tide executively, then wait to do the thing in Congress?
Good question.
Do the executive action to slow the tide while you're waiting on the bill, but y'all didn't do that. So that goes to show y'all wanted these people in here. And I think it's a travesty that after the election day, you have several states who are counting their votes.
That was still ridiculous.
Later, weeks after the fact, it's like, what the hell?
Are you done?
How do you? It don't take that long. If people in this world can count their votes, their paper ballots faster than y'all can do it, and we were supposed to be, the one of the greatest country in the world, and these. Now, you know what? Forget the country in the world, because it ain't the country. It's the states, certain states. Only reason I can think of to obfuscate, to hide and slow down such a pitiful vote counting is you're doing something.
I think I can smell shite.
To me, you're cooking the books some type of way. I don't know how, because I'm not into all the inner structure of voting, but if you wanted people to believe in elections, you would do it quick, fast, and efficient. You wouldn't drag your feet weeks after the fact, especially when the states like, I think Florida is like the third or fourth populous state in America. When Florida can do their vote count the same night, it's like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about?
Well, one of the things that's so funny about that is I remember the Florida incident.
Oh, you talking about in 2000?
I remember the great Florida incident.
But you can say that was messed up. When I learned about that, it was the hanging chads, and the Supreme Court got involved, and they
Yeah.
threw out votes.
A lot of people don't recognize that George W. Bush's first term as president, he was not elected, he was appointed.
Yeah.
He was appointed the presidency because they could not solve the discrepancy in the Florida voting. And since then, Florida has been on top of it.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you would think that with the entire nation, well, I won't say the entire nation, but no, with the entire nation being put on notice and certain segments of the nation being called out by Trump the last term, and no matter how many people want to say that, oh, he was just mad because he lost, the mainstream media did not report on those discrepancies that were actually legitimately found and based in legitimacy.
Yeah,
the mainstream media did not cover, oh, in this county, in this state, this did happen, or in this state, these discrepancies, these anomalies were taking place.
Or the fact
that discuss that,
or they don't want to talk about some of these states during the 2020 election. They violated their own rules, their own laws to do some of this stuff.
So you would think that with that being on the forefront of people's minds, that they would be like Florida. We're gonna make sure that we're not ever to be questioned again. I don't understand how they can screw this up or make this bad when I know that in-state voting, they get resolved in the same night. When you're voting for mayors, governors, that's done the same night. You don't have this issue. But this is when you have it. Yes, you have a lot of people that have lost trust in the election system. They really have. They have, and kind of proven, because there were a lot of things that came out afterwards to show, okay, how did Biden get more Democrat votes when he was running than even Obama and Clinton did?
Yeah.
And then when Trump won this time, where did all those votes go? Because there's like a 4 million voter discrepancy in there that can't be explained. Where did all these voters go?
Hey man, they just took a break. They said we ain't coming out tonight.
and I believe that most of that is they had a lot of those people that they knew that this was going to be a watchdog moment. They couldn't pull they couldn't pull the same slick trick twice.
No.
So this was definitely a watchdog moment.